Welcome to Forage Drops. This is Lilian Silva. I'm the Forages specialist for Clemson University, and today I'll be talking about establishing cool season forages. We're entering the last portion of the season for production for warm season forages, and now it's time to be thinking about whether you'd like to have some forage to graze or if already have planned to supplement your forage base with hay. Now it's an opportunity to consider establishing some forages so the animals can be really having something to graze and extending the grazing season for them. So let's get started. So uh, a question that I usually get later in the season is related to how far we can wait to plant. What is the furthest that we can push that window for planting? Generally, on our state, we're looking at planting. It really depends if you are going to be able to plant on a clean seed beds where you're chilling, or if you're overseeding some warm season pastures. But some people, if they are planting on a clean seed bed, they might be able to plant in late August. But generally, when you're thinking about planting cool season fours, you're thinking about mid-September through November, maybe even towards mid to late November to some regions in the state where we are in warmer weather. But really, like I said, depends on weather, species, planting methods. So it's going to be these things that will be um, major points of considerations, especially when you usually get the first hard freezing event of the season, and whether you are really trying to get the most of that seasonal production for just forages that you're going to use. Um, it's always good to think about if you're able to establish some cool season forages for the animals to be grazing during that time and not rely solely on hay to feed the animals through the fall and winter months, just because especially on this year we have had some challenges related to weather. We were very dry in a large portion of the region, not just the state of South Carolina. So this is going to be something that will impact hay availability and also the price. So the prices were already going to be different than the past few years, 3 years ago, just because of the increase in costs. Fertilizer, herbicides, diesel, everything, it's more expensive, has been more expensive over the last year and a half or so, and this will reflect on the price of hay as well. So it's always a opportunity to think if you would be able to establish that those cool season forages right now. That's something good to consider. So let's think about what do I need to know prior to that establishment. So when we're going to be establishing a new area with forages, is always good to conduct a soil test on that area, just to check what is the pH that you have, and also apply nutrients, excuse me, apply nutrients based on the soil recommendation. And always use certified high quality seeds to space off later on, because those seeds are going to have proper identification of the percentage of weeds in that mixture, and also it's a insurance of the quality of the test of germinations that those seeds went through, and really being able to rely on that to get a good establishment later. It's worth the price instead of buying seeds that are not reliable and do not have a proper management prior to be sold. Then we need to talk about land preparation. So if you're thinking about using an area that you can actually prepare the soil, then you need to be following the proper steps for disking and tilling that area and killing the the annual vegetation that you have on that piece of land. And this is one condition, right? So the other condition is when you have a stand of a perennial grass, could be Bahia grass or Bermuda grass, you would be interseeding that stand. You would be planting the cool season forages using a no-till drill. This is very important. This is a condition that you would not prepare the land. So we would be using a no-till drill to plant those cool season forages there. And prior to a plant, you do need to remove the excessive force that you would have there. And in some cases, we can also use a low rate of glyphosate to help to suppress the growth of the warm season grass. And we generally just say like we're putting the grass to sleep, which is just basically suppressing that growth that can come up if we have a early warmer portion of the winter, and especially on the low portion of the state. So this could be something to consider. Then we do need to make sure that we're using the proper seed rate, seed depth, and promoting that seed soil contact is are things that will be crucial for a for guaranteeing conditions of achieving a good establishment of that forage stand. It's an option to use mixtures, so you could have different benefits of using mixtures. One of the benefits is really to just mix different grasses by themselves, grass species, or something that's not a known legume, for example, brassica, just so you could benefit on the extended growth season through mixing species that have different peaks of production for production. And then you could also include a legume in those mixtures, so you could also have the benefit of that improved diet for the animals, and also for the inputting some organic nitrogen into those mixtures, those pastures. So these are things that really help out and could work well on your benefit, especially with prices of nitrogen currently. Then it's always important to make sure you apply fertilizer because you're going to rely on replenishing those nutrients to be able to achieve a good forage production. You would be looking at recommended rates for nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Phosphorus is the nutrient that we can just put the recommended rate at planting or a few days after planting. But when we're talking about nitrogen and potassium, we do have the recommendation to split apply that recommended rate, just so you can match the timing that the plant is growing the most with that application, so the plants can really use and benefit of that additional nutrient that's coming in, and then they can really produce well. So for this reason, you could just know that sometimes standard fertilized blends where we have, for example, 10-10-10 or other combinations, they might not be the best options to use, just because as I mentioned, when we have the recommendation for phosphorus, we should be putting the total rate of phosphorus at planting or a few days after planting. Do not need to split apply that phosphorus throughout the season, as we do recommend for nitrogen and potassium. Then this is just a general range of what you could be looking at for forage yield for different species. So you can take a look here on this screen for when the planting window could work out for a general range, and what could be the estimate for yield for grasses. And then for clovers, what we generally speak about the estimated nitrogen fixation that we can get from them. These are general ranges. Some conditions might have the clovers fixing less than 80 pounds per year. It could go as low as 20, 40 even. It really depends on the yield that you're having and the conditions that you have on the location you're at. Those conditions include the soil pH, if you're able to get to a pH that it's the proper range for that species, or even the nutrients available there for the clovers to succeed. Then, as I mentioned before, if you're able to use mixtures where you include legumes, these are beneficial to have that organic nitrogen input into the system. And when we're looking at these conditions where we have a grass with a legume in a mixture, we do need to make sure that we adjust the seeding rate, we adjust the management that we're going to be using, because we need to favor those different species in combination now. So there are some considerations that we need to adjust in terms of the stubble height, the frequency of grazing that we're using. These mixtures of grass with legumes, they do collaborate on extending the forage production, and they improve the forage quality that we're looking at. And they might be something really helpful to help on supporting higher animal nutrition requirements for some animal categories, so they can meet the weight gain that we're expecting. And as I mentioned before, the fixation of nitrogen will be directly proportional to the yield that those legumes are producing. So it's very important how you manage those systems, and how you really make sure that they're having access to proper nutrients available in the soil. With this, I conclude what I had for this video today. I really appreciate you watching this video. I have the Forage Drops channel in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok now. And if you'd like to follow any of those social media channels, please do so you can keep up with new videos and new information being released through those channels as well. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your extension agent, your local extension agent, or feel free to reach out to me through this email as well. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the next Forage Drops.